junior high and in charge of Catholic. Everything right? Yes. Okay. Purpose of the meeting basically is to just kind of give you resources, let you ask questions, let us share expectations for what's going on. Obviously, you know, there's been a lot of changes with Memphis football in the last couple of years if you've been around. So giving people a chance to hear what those are and ask questions and get clarification is what the point of this meeting is. So you'll see on the agenda sheet, if you did not get an agenda sheet, they're right up there. There's links to websites we use. I'm going to make a big push to use memphisjacketsfootball.weebly.com more. On that website right now, there's links to add our calendars right to your phone and how to do that. Our calendars are all up there. The Remind information, if you want to get on a different Remind or your child is not on Remind, that's all on there. We're going to try to use that as basically, if you need information, that's where you can go and find it right now. Try to give you the ability to do that on your own. There's contact information for me and Coach Kessler on there. The website, again, we're still building. Eventually we'll have everybody's contact information on their email, phone number, that. So if you need to get hold of someone in particular, it will be on the website. There will be a coach's page where you can go find that information particularly. We use Remind, which I'm sure most of you have heard about. It's a mass texting service. We can send the text real quick. It goes to everybody, makes our lives really easy. And then we do use Facebook, as most of you are probably aware of. So, calendar we sent home. That's the summer calendar. I'll talk about kind of how we do summer events. Again, if you want that calendar on your phone so you can see as things changes, I'm working on a couple 7-on-7s right now where the backs and receivers do 7-on-7, linemen do different drills when they're there. We're working on one on the 20th of July. Yale just invited us one on the 14th of July. Parkway Christian has one. They're trying to do a big tournament. And then there's a couple more in June we're doing. Those are all continuing to be scheduled. If you would like those calendars so you can see what's going on, you can go, there's a document that lays out what you have to do, and there's links to the calendars that you'll need, so pick the calendar you want. You want JV football, you can put that right on your phone. You want varsity football, you can put it right on your phone. So as I update it, it goes right to the calendar on your phone, and you can see everything as soon as I update it. So, good there?
That was Weebly?
It's, yeah, that's actually right on top of it.
Making sure I do the right one.
Yeah. Summer schedule. We don't do traditional camps. We do stuff like basically every Tuesday and Thursday we're going to do like a camp day that's going to be a little longer. We picked the dates, I don't remember off the top of my head. Those are the longer days where we're going to do football specific stuff. The other days we're going to be more general conditioning. So it'll be weight room, it'll be some agility plyos or 40-yard dashes, and maybe some conditioning. We try to do things where the kids are moving constantly so they don't need a ton of conditioning because they're just doing it because they just get it because they're doing stuff. Nobody really likes to line up, there's very few people that like to line up and just run sprints repeatedly. Most people don't like to do that, so if we can get our kids moving and get them doing stuff that way, I think that's a better option in my opinion. Workouts, they're a little bit different this year. Tracy Winnett, who owns Be Fit, is going to help us out. We're going to do some adjusting. We're going to try to do some things. Our numbers look really good. So summer stuff, if we have 60 people there, we're going to have to be creative on how we get people in the weight room because our weight room just isn't big enough to handle 30 people at a time, let alone 60. So we're going to have to kind of be creative in how we do things and almost do stations, and kids get football work and then they get agility work, they get lifting and rotate and figure out how to make this stuff work. So we're going to have to be creative. These are all great problems to have, but again, that goes in there. The lineman 7-on-7 stuff I talked about, we try to do those on Wednesdays as much as possible. We're trying to host them. Other teams show up and it's basically all passing. There's no pass rush. It's just play pass defense and throw the ball. And then we try to do stuff where linemen get not really strongman work, but it's kind of like obstacle course. There's some strongman stuff. There's some agility plyo stuff. Because the backs and receivers are working on their athletic ability, doing their stuff, we want the linemen to have something fun to do at the same time. So we try to do at least one of those a year. We're trying to do them every time if we can get other schools to bring their linemen too. Kids can have fun, we can do stuff. You guys can come and watch. It's usually a really good time. Expectations for the summer, be here when you can. Let me clarify that. If you're in town, we expect the kids to be here. We're planning things in a certain way where we need kids here. The biggest thing is there's something where you're not going to be here. You got a vacation planned for a week? No problem. Somebody from out of town comes in and you need a night where normally they're in football? No problem. The biggest thing we're going to ask in summer stuff, so June and July, is you communicate with that. And we're hoping your child, your son, actually does the communicating. Hey, coach, I've got this. We're never going to argue with them. If they're in town, like they get home from work at like, let's say 5:30, we start at 6, we would like them to be there. Obviously, the more work we can get in the summer, the more reps they can get, the more training they get, the better off they're going to be. Okay, and again, working together with 11 guys as a unit, we can do a lot of things when most of the kids are there. If we've only got a third of the kids there, we're more limited on the type of things we can do. So the biggest thing for us is if we expect them to be there, but if they're not going to be there, there are valid reasons to not be there. It's not required, highly recommended. But if they can let us know so we can plan ahead, that makes it, one, a lot easier on the kids that are there, and two, a lot easier on us so we can plan and we don't have to try to do it on the fly. Make sense to everybody? We understand, they're kids. You should take vacations. People from out of town come in. Like, there are things at times that are more important than football. Absolutely. But if they're here and they're not doing anything else, obviously being here is a good thing. That's not going to hurt them at all. It's going to help us. It's going to help them. So that's kind of our expectation. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, for the younger kids that don't drive yet. If they need rides, we can get them. There's plenty of older boys that drive. They'll pick them up. All they got to do is that.
And if there's a problem, please communicate. We'll try to work our way around the problem so the kids don't have to not be around. So, yes, sir.
Does that both junior varsity and varsity team?
We're working on, so MHSA does not allow us to do high school and junior high together.
Okay.
Well, we're trying, and again, this is part of the scheduling. There's a letter coming out, hopefully Wednesday, I'll mail it home, about junior high and how we're going to do the junior high summer stuff. But that information is coming. MHSA doesn't allow us to, they can do the lifting and running, but they can't do football specific drills together. Yeah. So they just, and again, if we follow the rules, we won't ever have to worry about it. If we don't follow the rules, someone's going to say something, now we got to worry about it. And my luck is, if it can go bad, it will go bad. That's just kind of how my world works. So, yes, there is stuff coming. I'm not sure if we're going to do like a 3-day summer camp or if we're going to do like special lifting times. Again, we're working that out to try to get, how are we going to logistically make this work where it can actually work. We're not just going to have kids there standing around, because I don't want kids standing around. I want them doing something, because then we don't have to run them at the end of practice. They just get the conditioning and they're done. So yes, there's something coming. Letters going out Wednesday. We're finalizing the meeting date. We'll have another one of these for junior high, and then we'll go, and you'll have more information then. August practices, however, a little bit different. Our first official practice is August 8th. We're going to try to do something a little different. We're going to try to have meetings before each practice. We're going to try to do a little bit of film after each practice. So we're going to try to film the practices. The practices, there's 2 practices in August. They're 90 minutes long. One will be offense, one will be defense, and we'll mix in special teams in there. What we want to try to do is have the meeting at like 3:30, give them what they're going to do in the first practice. Kind of here's what we're going to do in practice, so we don't have to explain everything on the field. When they're on the field, they're going. That's the conditioning part. When they're done, film and separate them by what position they play so they can get some really specific feedback on what they need, and away we go. And they're done at, so they'll basically start at 3:30, they'll be done at 8:30. That goes for the first 8 days of practice, and then we have a home scrimmage on that second Thursday. It's on the calendars, it's on the JV calendar, it's on the varsity calendar, on the website. All that information available. I just got the finalized game schedule. JV schedule is going to rotate a little bit, because there's some teams that are going to drop to 8-man. We're not going to have 8-man if we get the numbers, which everything tells we're going to have a ton of kids. So we'll be 11-man, so there's going to be some adjustment to the JV schedule, but we're working on that right now. Cardinal Mooney just contacted me yesterday. Yale has been in contact with me playing their freshman team multiple times. Vassar has been in contact for an extra game. So we'll get the young guys, we'll get games. That's our goal, is to get them a full 9-game season this year. So we need them at practice. If they're not going to be at practice, they're probably going to sit a quarter. Now, are there valid reasons? Again, car breaks down, not out of control. Right, funerals, weddings, things like that, those are things they can't reschedule. Obviously, we're going to be a little more understanding of those things, but I just didn't feel like coming today, you're sitting a quarter. Hey, I got off work and I'm tired, you're sitting a quarter. You know, and there's a difference in my mind, and I know all their minds, is if they're coming back from work and they get stuck in traffic and they get to practice late, but they get there and they're hustling, doing that, that's a lot different than just, oh, I got caught in traffic, I'm going to take the day off. Kids trying to get there, you can see they're hustling, that creates a mentality and lets their teammates know, like, this was out of their control, but they're trying to make it the best they can. If they just decide, oh, I'm going to skip that practice, I don't care, that's a different mentality. We're trying to get rid of that, where if they can get there, even if it's for 15 minutes at the end, that means a lot, especially their teammates. They get there, they're hustling, they're there for the last 15 minutes. Stuff happens. Flat tires, cars break down. We understand that, but if they're hustling to get there, that's going to be different than, oh, I'm just going to skip practice because I missed the first half. I hope that's clear to everybody. Again, we're not trying to punish the kids, but at the same time, how can we not reward the kids that were there? If that makes any sense to everybody. And we're trying to be fair. Again, if something comes up, you have weddings, stuff like that, just communicate. We're pretty easy to work with. And the earlier we can get that communication, the better off we're going to be.
The biggest thing is for 2 days of practice in August is that people need to realize that's when we install the bulk of everything for the entire week. If you miss that, you're probably not going to catch up.
It's really hard to catch up if you miss the first 2 weeks.
By that point, say we had a kid that didn't show up to any 2 days, we probably wouldn't know half. That was a big problem.
So again, our biggest thing right now, and it's gotten a ton better from when we first started, is communicate with us. If you have an issue, communicate, we'll try to make it work. We're not going to kick a kid off a team because something happens. I'm just not going to do it. Now, let me rephrase that. A scheduling conflict or something random where, like, mom and dad scheduled a vacation for a day, I'm going to miss a Saturday. That happens. During the season, we don't do anything on weekends with a couple exceptions. August is messy because we play on Thursdays. So, to keep kind of the same routine, we practice Sunday night. We try to practice late Sunday night, and then they got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's game prep. They play Thursday. JV plays on Wednesday for the first 2 weeks. We do nothing on Friday and Saturday. So we give you 2 days. The first week is weird, and let me explain. To scrimmage another team, we have to have 9 practices in. Because the first game is on Thursday, we scrimmage a week before that. But if we don't do a Saturday practice, we would only have 8 practices in. We couldn't legally have a scrimmage on that second Thursday. So the first Saturday, we practice. You'll get that day back Labor Day weekend. We don't do anything Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll practice late Monday. So you'll get your day back. My goal is to do nothing on weekends. August is weird because of the way the rules work. And that's our best way. That first Saturday, we like to try to do an inter-squad scrimmage. JV, inter-squad scrimmage, varsity, inter-squad scrimmage. And then we basically have a parents meeting, buy hot dogs, bring food, have basically a picnic afterwards, and everybody go on their way. And we're trying to be done by noon Saturday morning. I'm also trying to do pictures that Saturday morning so they're done early, they're out of the way. Anybody wants those, we can get all the stuff done that first Saturday and get it out of the way. So it's not waiting till the last week like we did this year. So then trying to get kids pictures because they're not on the team, and we're trying to avoid a lot of those conflicts we had this year. So,
Are you saying the first Saturday is the 13th of August?
correct. First Saturday practice. And it's not on the calendar I sent you, but if you go on to the website and you click teams, varsity, calendar, it's all there. It's easy, that calendar is easier to see on a computer versus a phone, but it's all there. And if you link it to your phone, it'll show you everything. Our entire schedule, all the way through, other than playoffs, is done. It's done. When we practice, when we do stuff, it's all done. So if you wonder when you can take vacations or whatever, it's all on there. You can see it all.
And if there's any time you guys ever have any questions, text, call me, talk over stuff. If I can't answer for you, I'll get
We're trying to be fair, but also bring some accountability at the same time. Again, I know there's going to be conflicts. We can communicate that and work through those. So, the last part, real quick, before I give you questions. Varga Family Chiropractic in Richmond will adjust your child for free. So if you are interested in that, you go into Varga Family Chiropractic. The first time they go in, a parent has to go with them to fill out the forms and get the consent and all that stuff. But after that, they will adjust your child for free. If you have coverage on your insurance, what they will do is they'll waive your copay, I believe. That's how they do it, and they bill insurance. I don't know that for sure. He said he'll adjust it free. Maybe he writes the whole thing off. I don't know.
They charge our insurance for whatever it covers, and then anything beyond that is, you don't pay anything.
Okay. I don't know how he does it, but I know he told me 2 days ago that he will do it again for free. Plymouth Physical Therapy in Armada will also, if your child has a sprained ankle, messed up arm, whatever, they will assess that injury and let you know how to treat it. If it's something you need physical therapy, they have doctors in town you can go see and get a referral. If it's something they can treat at home, they will let you know. So they will treat you for free. Call them, tell them who you are, tell them that Memphis Football coach sent you, they know what's going on, and they can be assessed for free. We're trying, and again, we would love to have a full-time trainer here to do this right here in school. We just don't have the financial ability to do that right now. So we're trying to do some things to help with that, so we can get the kids treated, get them the proper treatment so they can get back on the field and feeling better as fast as possible. It's football, just like any other sport. There's going to be dings, there's going to be sprained ankles. Baseball has arm injuries, track has their own injuries, so like we're trying to do stuff to get the kids feeling good as fast as they can. So, and I actually talked to Sarah at physical therapy on Friday. She said, yeah, if baseball or softball kids are hurt, call, we'll assess them. So, we got some resources to help you out. Obviously, that's nice to have that at least be assessed for free so you don't have to worry about that stuff. So, anything else? Anything else?
One important fact for that parents of JV kids should know is they dress on Friday. All the kids that play JV dress for Friday's game.
Dress for the varsity.
Correct. So they're allowed,
Again, I couldn't hear.
all JV kids will dress for the varsity game as well. They're allowed 5 quarters of play a week. So if they play 4 quarters on JV, they still have 1 quarter left. So we blow a team out, or we're getting blown out, we can get the young kids another quarter of reps, which I think has been huge. I know there's some parents that their kids went through that last year. I think having those kids, the ability to go in and get some extra reps is huge. And it does really build that program because everybody's together on Friday.
And the way that we practice isn't traditional in the sense of having 2 separate teams, because we're a small school, obviously, but we have a lot of kids that play football. But essentially, they practice together every single day, no matter if they're JV, varsity, doesn't matter. Those kids practice together all week long. So come Friday night, they all stand on flash.
We don't let the freshmen or sophomores get beat up by the seniors, for the record. Like, people are worried about that. If we're doing a full contact drill and the freshman is not physically able, we're not going to be doubled out. Now, will they do drills together? Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how many times where we had a senior that could have just laid out a sophomore receiver last year and just tapped him on the head, ran right by, nobody got hurt, we kept moving.
Our kids know that they're not helping anybody. So that's not really a concern. It's never really been a concern, honestly.
We haven't had a ton of that. So our biggest thing is our kids are prepared and healthy and feel great on game day. Not that they're beaten up. If you want to talk about, I don't know if that's a concern, how we teach tackling, you can go to the Heads Up Tackling with USA Football. That's essentially what we use. There's another company out there that does that and then a little bit more. That's what we use. Part of the summer stuff is we're going to work non-contact tackling drills, how to track, how to leverage, where things go. Low impact stuff where it's like literally we're standing here, okay, do basically grip and squeeze. So it's not going to be anything that's going to get kids hurt, but it's work on tackling where we can get it safe. We do not mess around with concussions at all. If there's any hint of it, they'll come out, and if they fail, they're not going back in, period. If they pass a test, if they pass all the protocol, they're not going back in until a parent tells us it's okay. We don't mess around with that. We take it incredibly seriously. Financially, we can't do it right now, but I don't know if you've seen the Guardians. Some of the kids have them. They're like pads that go over top of the helmet. I would love to have that for every kid in practice every day. They're amazing tools. They help with concussion prevention. They help with other injury prevention because the helmet's padded, so arm injuries, bruises are better. Those are all things we'd like to get to. So if you have concerns about that, want to talk to us more, feel free, but that's not something we mess around with. We take it incredibly seriously. There's some people in the room that can attest to that. Any questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
I want to make sure I heard you right. You're talking about practices like lineman practice and whatnot. What if you don't know what your son's going to play yet?
They will, like, so you talk about summer stuff?
Yeah,
They'll show up and we'll kind of work with them. And part of it is we'll put them through agility drills and we'll see how they move and we'll see what their natural abilities are. And we'll try them. So let's say maybe we try them at offensive, or we try them at running back and realize they're not a great fit. They're going to be better offensive line. Or maybe we try them offensive line and be like, maybe we want to try a different position. That's kind of what we use summer for, is for the kids that don't know. That's the time to kind of figure out what their niche is. So if they don't know, show up and ask, and we'll kind of get them moving, and maybe we say, this is a great fit. Maybe after 2 days we go, this is not a great fit, let's try something else. And by the end of it, we'll kind of figure out, hopefully within a week or two, we'll kind of figure out where their niche is, and then they can start focusing on that. Like, nobody's really locked in. Seniors kind of know roughly where they're going to be, but there's some wiggle room there too. So, yeah, if they don't know, we'll get it. And again, it's nothing set in stone. Obviously, until this year, we had small numbers, so nothing was really set in stone because kids were changing positions every week. Hopefully this year we won't have as much of that because our numbers look to be better, much better.
And all that happens in August, you said?
No, it starts in June. Now, if they get there in August, yeah, absolutely, we'll have to do it then. But if we can do it in June and July, obviously that's a better fit. But if it has to happen in August, it happens in August.
No, I just wonder, exactly.
The earlier the better, it gives us a lot more time to plan. As we, especially with having so many kids and having to split the kids up between JV and varsity, it gives us a good look at the guys and to where they can help us the most, because we might end up with a freshman kid on varsity. Last year we had, 2 sophomores on varsity football, right?
Trombley, Hayden, Scott,
Yeah, so great. So we really don't know until we assess it for the most part. I mean, honestly, most of these kids have played for us for going on 3 years now, so we won't. But there's a lot of new kids. That for all the new kids, new families, we're happy to have you guys. We're excited that so many kids are interested in playing football. That's the whole reason why I came here 3 years ago. I'm originally from Memphis. I was upset with how the football program was going, and it was going well for a long time. We averaged about 24 to 26 kids here for the last 100 years, and now we have 60. That's a big, big change, and for the parents of the kids that have been playing should be very proud of us because of that. I mean, we do the best we can. We try to teach the kids how to play football, how to be better people, how to be better leaders. But the success we've had is awesome. They've earned everything.
Anything else? Any clarification? And I will, June and July, we cannot require it, but it's about as highly recommended you be as much stuff as possible, they be as much stuff as possible as they can be. And our biggest thing is communicate. And obviously, if you've got a vacation plan, go. There's no penalty. We're not going to hold it against them. We're not going to do anything. But we get that. You need to be parents and have family time too. We're fully aware of that. But obviously, like anything else, the more they can be there, the better off they're going to be, we're going to be. And we try to limit it. So like, we don't do anything Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There's multiple 7-on-7 stuffs on Saturdays we're not doing because go on vacation. If you go camping every weekend, go. Have fun. Do the family stuff. That's awesome. You don't get this time back. They're kids.
For the most part, for the new kids, once they start showing up and they realize how fun it is,
We do not run them into the ground. Now, they might be moving all the time, but we're not going to line them up and just run them into the ground.
we spend probably the better of 90% of our time learning how to play football.
Anything else?
They need a sports physical before June?
No, they need a sports physical before August.
Okay.
I'm working with Henry Ford in Richmond, trying to get a day where they come here and do it right here for a reduced fee. If we can't do that, I don't remember if it's 30 or 35 Henry Ford right in Richmond.
Yeah.
Parent does not need to be there, but there has to be a parent note saying that you give consent they do that. There has to be an adult with them. But that you don't have to be there. It's $35. I'm trying to get with them to see if they will come here, but I've not gotten some clear answers yet, so I don't know if that. I would love to do that like the last day of school. Just come in, get your physical, get out. But I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but I'm trying.
There's nothing worse than a kid showing up
You'll get plenty of reminders about getting your physicals done starting probably mid-June. If you haven't got your physical done, get your physical. If you turn it in, you can turn it into us, all that fun stuff, so. Problem here in Chesterfield. Okay, there's another one of these. So. Any other questions? And if they want to get their physical, they're good now. They can get it now, it'll be good for next fall. So anything after like April 15th counts. So if you want to get it now, you can get it now, it's all done. Almost all the paperwork are
Are the forms in the office where we can get them?
I can,
Or online?
usually,
Yeah.
you go to the website, I will,
Most doctor's offices have them.
are you on Remind?
Yep.
I will send out a link, I'll send out a PDF copy of it later tonight, you'll have it right there. And you can either send the doctor, download it, most doctor's office have them on file. If not, the office does. Also, please, when you turn in physicals, there's a doctor part, then there's a parent part, and signatures and consent and all that. Please have everything filled out, because the worst thing in the world, I forget to check sometimes, your kids put it in a pile. It goes in and turns around and comes right back. We have to have stuff filled out, and it becomes the game of give it back, collect it, give it back, collect it. If we can avoid that, that makes everybody's life a lot easier. You can either give them to me or you can turn them in the office. Either one's fine, if you get physical forms. In the summer, it'll probably come to us.
We'll get a big stack for her coach's office.
I don't remember if that's on the website. It'll be on the website tomorrow morning. I'll put it on the website. There'll be a thing with forms with all the schools' forms, physical form, everything on it. So we're building that to make things hopefully easier on everybody.
So, my son's never played, so do I get online, sign him up, and pay the fees, or how does that?
Maybe, so as far as
I
like
have nothing.
the pay to play and all that
Yeah.
stuff, that will go, so they come the first day of practice, August 8th. We'll hand the roster to the office, they will make the pay to play form, that will come back to us, we will give it to you. And
I'm
then,
talking about June and July,
what's that? Oh, the June and July is all free.
so you just show up?
He just shows up.
Okay.
June and July is all free.
The only fee that there is to the school is pay to participate, which is $70.
$75, $80.
All right.
So that,
So you come here a couple months, if you decide, nah, it's not for me, then we don't.
there's nothing,
Sign up.
yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah, but like, summer's all free. Early on, we're gonna get sizes and stuff, and we'll buy t-shirt shorts for all the kids. So they have those to wear throughout the summer for, obviously, if we're going against other teams for the 7-on-7 stuff, it's nice to have matching stuff. They'll get helmets. We'll pass out helmets, make sure they'll fit properly. Those are not back from reconditioning yet, so we don't have those, but as soon as we get those, they'll get helmets. They'll get mouth guards to wear. They're like the only fee we charge is the school's pay to play. We don't charge anything else. So this summer's completely free. He just shows up. If you need clarification, you can contact Coach Kessler, contact me. We'll have everything on there. Last day of school was the 13th? 10th. So yeah, so we start on the 13th. So we'll be lifting, football stuff. We're allowed 15 football specific days. We can do as much lifting, agility, plyo, that type of general athletic workout. We get 15 days of football specific stuff. So we schedule obviously the ones that are like 5 to 7:30 are going to be non-football days. The ones that are, 6 to 7:30. The ones that are 6 to 8:30 are going to be the football days. And if there's adjustment in schedule, I'll change on the calendar. I'll remind it out so everybody's aware of what's going on. I've been waiting on the little kids baseball because I know some of our kids play 15U baseball. So if they've got games on Tuesday, Thursday, we don't want to do football stuff on Tuesday, Thursday. We were guessing as they played Monday, Wednesday last year, that's what it's going to be, but I have not gotten that schedule yet, so it's still a little bit fluid.
Like, not in the same way my son also plays hockey. So we're kind of trying to figure things out with hockey. We touch base.
We've had a kid when I was
And
young.
also shoots track too, so I'm sure he'll shoot track and all that.
And I think Cody Rambowski and those guys do too.
Cody,
And most of the time, we're done. So maybe they missed the after-practice film session, but they're done with practice and they're gone. That's, again, that's one day a week. It's not a huge deal.
I mean, trap is the only school sport that he plays. He plays, you know.
I've had kids play hockey where they have to miss occasionally. And I'll be honest, we had a kid that played for Little Caesars.
Right.
And that was the best thing. He didn't play for 2 years because of hockey. So he really wanted to play. There were multiple days where he would come running out of the field last 15 minutes, sprinting, putting his gear on because he always wanted to be in practice for 15 minutes.
Right.
And that was the most loved kid by the team ever because they knew it was a priority. He was doing everything he can to be there as much as he could. It was amazing to watch. they hurt himself 3 games in, so.
And if we end up doing the co-op here, that won't conflict anyway.
No, if he plays club hockey, it will be, but if he plays with co-op in the winter, then there's no conflict. And I don't, you may not know this, but we are big on multi-sports. If you've seen on Facebook, I posted a thing on NFL Draft today. I know he does, I know I do, and I know those two do when they talk. We actively ask kids to go play other sports. It's not like, hey, we want you to play other sports. No, we ask them to go play other sports.
Especially me, who didn't say that.
So
Track.
we're not a football only, we're not football only. And we're trying to work with Jim and Tracy at BFIT to try to do like a unification for lifting so they can get lifting year-round that helps all the sports, not geared towards football, but they can still not conflict with the other stuff they do. They're in band. We will work with that. We have no issue with band. We worked with that for the first 2 years. I've worked with that for years. That's not a big deal. We can make arrangements for that. They want to march at halftime, not a problem.
When's the lifting start?
What's that?
What times?
In the summer, 6 and 9. We're lifting right now, right after school.
So I was wondering, I'm thinking, yeah, if you stay after school. and
Yeah,
pick
right.
'em up.
It's going on right now, right after school, 3 to 4:30. I haven't been home yet today, so I got out of work. I teach in Armada, came here, did lifting, did a little running around, and then I'm here for the meeting.
And there's always a coach there too.
Is there an age limit?
We try to say 6 and up. Start 6th grade. Not 6 years old. Start 6th grade.
There's actually a lot of junior high kids that do it. That's why.
And again, a lot of it is just getting kids to functional movements, getting them to form. I say it 100 times a day is I don't care how much you lift. If you can't do the form right, take the weight off and do the form right. We're all about teaching them how to move and how to lift. And it's funny, the kids that have really bought into that, their weight's starting to creep up on its own. What they couldn't do 2 weeks ago, they can do with ease now. But their form is very, very technical, and it's, you can't ever say perfect, but it's pretty close. So we harp on doing things the right way. Because if you do things the wrong way, kids get hurt. Well, if they're hurt, we get nothing out of it for football, and they're hurt, and they're not going to come back.
Our biggest thing is we want to build athletes, not just football. We've been fortunate enough to have a lot of success over the last couple of years as a football program. We would like to see all of the programs do that build to be more successful, at least numbers-wise.
And we don't do just running every day. There's agility, like tomorrow's going to be called X Factor, there's agility plyos. Some sprint mechanic stuff, some ground-based jumping, body weight stuff. Some what they call assisted plyos. So we do a variety of different strengths. It's not just going the weight room lift. And they are assigned a sheet that has the workout laid out. Here's the lifts you do today. There's a computer program. We teach kids how to put the weight they did the computer. The computer program actually has an algorithm that says you do this much weight for this set, this many reps, this much weight for this many reps, and it lays everything out for them. So we spend our time coaching kids and observing form and doing those things, not trying to tell them what weight to use. Anything else? Please ask. If you think of it later, please text us. The biggest thing is you feel comfortable and informed of what we're trying to do. So you're aware of what's going on. And if there's problems, there's issues, conflicts, text us. We're not hard to deal with. We're trying to be fair to everybody, but we understand that football is not number one for everybody, and sometimes football can't be number one. Nor should it be.